Start with today's program. Good evening, everyone. I, Dr. Faiza, on behalf of R&D Cell of Government SPMR College of Commerce, Jammu, at Cape Comorin Trust, India, welcome you all to the fourth day of 1 week International Virtual Faculty Development Program on research methods, tools, and techniques for multidisciplinary research designs. I extend my warm welcome to our worthy principal, Dr. Surinder Kumar, who has been a source of inspiration always. I also welcome Dr. Pooja, convener RDC of Government SPMR College of Commerce, and Professor Deepshikha Sharma, organizing secretary of the program, who helped to transform the event idea into reality. It's my great pleasure to welcome our resource persons for today's technical session, Mr. Faisal Fayaz and Dr. Ruchi Raj Thakur, who spared their valuable time for enlightening all of us with various aspects of research. Now, without further delay, let us invite our first resource person, Mr. Faisal Fayaz. Mr. Faisal Fayaz is an educator. He did his MPhil from University of Punjab, Lahore. He is having experience of more than 25 years from various organizations as a project manager, gymnastics coach, visiting lecturer, etc. Mr. Faisal is felicitated with many affiliations and awards like Global Empowerment Award 2021, Award of Honor and Innovative Professor 2021, Global Edu Leader Award, and many more. Sir has organized various conferences, exhibitions, events, etc., and had delivered lectures at various platforms at national and international level. Now, without further delay, let us begin with our first technical session. So now I request Sir, Mr. Faisal Fayaz, to kindly go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, first of all, to all of you that you invited me here. And I'm here to present on the topic of Blue Book 21st citation. So it's a legal citation guide. Citation guides, it's about law and all other basically in LLM and in other law degrees, it was basically considered the most important thing where you have to basically constitute and you have to embed and integrate different laws, and according to that you have to basically integrate each and everything deeply while covering each and every subcontinent of basically the law and its subpart, so that each and everything will be covered according to justice and according to law. So what is Blue Book? First of all, the question. A uniform system of citation, widely used legal citation system in the United States. So this one is the most basically, you can say, authentic and most reliable uh, citation system in United system. And you know very well that United system do not compromise on in any matter related to justice or related to law. So this book, and it's all basically infrastructure, it's law, how to write down, how to citation, add up, and how to add the things. It's all basically related to very deeply work in it. What is ALWD citation manual? So ALWD citation manual, a professional system of citation. It was developed third edition in you are looking 206. It is filled with example of citation forms. So this also basically a helping material, and you can subcomponent for your blue book as citation as well. What is Chicago manual style? A manual for the writers of researcher papers, thesis writers, and for students. Chicago guides to writing, editing, and publishing. And in this way, basically, research work, development work, law, and all everything it has been used this specific manual style as well. Chicago guides to writing, editing, and publishing. So it's very clear. So it's for education purpose, and it enhances the basically knowledge of every individual. And in this way, the thing basically the education and the research and development is very progressive, we would see, as compared to us as well. It is also called Maroon Book. 15th edition available in the market. So this one is the one of the thing. Now I'm going to discuss the history of Blue Book. In December, I have delivered lecture as well on Blue Book, and it was just like extensive, you can say, or extension of that topic as well. Reason in that I have discussed that what it is and how it can be understand and how you can write down the citation according to Blue Book or something, and what are the basically prereqs and what are the basically requirement of that thing. But today I have added up some more thing in it so that related to its history, its examples, citation example, and the other things, and so that your audience could get benefit of it. So when we talk about the history, so it's compiled by Harvard Law Review, Columbia Law Review, University of Pennsylvania Law Review, Yale Law Journal, and currently it is in 18th or 21st edition it's going on. Different topics organized in Blue Book. The 18th edition of Blue Book governs the style and formatting of various references and elements of legal publication, including structure and use of citation, typefaces for law reviews, subdivision, and the other things. So 20th edition and after that 21st edition, more things had been added in it so that basically according to law, according to basically any matter, it has been evaluated and analyzed in a right way and the thing could be justified in any matter. Different topics organized in Blue Book: capitalization, title of judges, officials and terms of court, cases, constitutions, statutes, legislative material, administrative and executive material. So these are all the basically content, you can say the major classification of Blue Book. So if you learn and work on it, then automatically you will learn something about Blue Book citation and you are able to understand, you are able to add, you are able to write down, and you are able to pursue in any matter. The good news, you do not need to memorize the Blue Book rules. You can always refer to the Blue Book. So it means that it's just a reference law book that where the things has been analyzed in such a way that it's help out to any court or in any basically judge as a reference book, and it's basically covered all the history matters and the latest updation, latest procedures, and progressively it's been updated according to their need and requirement. So the difference between subcontinent and America and Europe world is this, that we subcontinent people, they think very good, their approach is very good, they think rationally, they design things very good in a right way. But the problem is this, when the implementation stages come there, so they basically put their step back and they are unable to implement that thing. They do not, even subcontinent do not like to implement something, laws or strategies, policy or something, but it's the reality that we could not update our laws, our judiciary system, our court system. We are again on the same point where the basically East India Company basically put us in 18th century, and we are still following the same rules regulation that has been basically given or gifted by these British peoples. So you know that societies, countries, regions, customs, climates, environmental factors, biodiversity, there are many other factors have been added now in our life in this current era. Even your you can say digital security, online shopping, online currency. So there are many things where the things has to be update it as well as embed new laws. But here we are lacking, that we are not implementing, we are not designing, we are not working on this, and we are not basically working and making the things or aligning the things according to the need and time. So we are still working, implementing, and following the same rules and regulations of law that has been in 18th century. So what do you think? There is a need of it or not? So can anyone reply me, please? What you suggest? Anyone? Any faculty member? Okay, I'm continuing my bad news. So Blue Book's rules are nitpicking the extreme. Example, Blue Book instructs you to underline and italicize the entire case name up to but not including the comma that follows the case name. See page number 12, B10 1.1 volume is this. So using Blue Book citation form correctly requires a high degree of attention to detail. So it means the person should be knowledgeable and having command how to use this reference book, the Blue Book citation book, and how to relate the things, how to integrate, how to basically finalize each and everything. Putting citation in proper Blue Book form takes more time than you might expect. So it means that if you want to change something, if you think and the code and the system required to update or required to change something, so there is a need of a proper approval from the system, which basically analyzed and think that this thing should be added or not from historical perspective and it's beneficial or not beneficial. As we know very well that this world is only for humans, and whatever the thing has been designed in this world by humans, or you can say any company or any MNC, any industry, it's only to facilitate or to make the things easier for human. So if these laws has been designed, so it's only for this thing so that communities and the people and the countries region, they basically integrate with each other, they collaborate with each other, they are able to accept to anyone, they are able to share their resources, greet, meet, and live happily in this planet and try to save this planet as well. So the difference between human and animal is very clear, that humans having the most important you can say instinct is to control on the brain or to control on yourself, on self. Okay, so animal does not have any control on basically on himself or herself, but remember this thing, that human is the only one who rationally think and keep the things safe, try to protect to anyone, spread humanity, try to spread humanity, try to serve the humanity to anyone, and try to give love, uh, respect the elders, love the youngsters, and try to basically save every living thing in the earth. I mean, if you have a sparrow and if she is dying and the human is looking that thing, so we are such kind of nature that every human will try to protect that sparrow. So we have short-term life in this earth. Average life here is 65 years, and obviously after that there is a death. So we have strong belief of anything that everyone have to die. But there are some things that we have to give strength to our youngsters and our basically generations so that they could survive in this earth. If we do not able to give some good things and good deeds, then obviously this world will become destructive and will not be good, and everything will be vanished and everything will be erased and you can delete it. And in this way, humans' survival become most difficult thing in the earth. So blue book rules are nitpicking in the extreme, mean no one can basically get any loophole due, through this basically blue book citation. Reason, these are the references, law references, that how the basically justice had been implemented in United States, what was the matter and in which way it had been decided, and this is the law of the state, agency, and the country. So using Blue Book citation form correctly requires a high degree of attention to detail. Mean the person should be knowledgeable, person should have a good command on it, should have basically reference that how to add up the things, and previous historical experience also requires so that the basically justice could be implemented in 100%. Putting citation in proper blue book form takes more time than you might expect. Why learn blue book citation rules? Blue book citation is used by most law reviews and journals, including Penn State law journals, and obviously it means that it covers each and everything. So this is not a single body or agency laws or the implications, or you can say the suggestions. It's all basically a compiled and refined, you can say, laws and the things. So the government of America and United States tried to basically implement the justice at any cost. They do not like, according to this blue book, and you can say the refined procedure, refined law, updation, and you can say update and modified rules according to the time and need. So it's very clear that the United States want 100% justice in their country. They do not give any preference or loophole to anyone, whatever the caste, whatever the nationality, whatever the citizen. So they basically put to each and everyone in a right court, and they want that if the person is had done any basically thing wrong, so if the person is culprit, so the punishment should be there and should be according to the designed rules and designed laws. So Blue Book citation is followed by many, but not all judges and law firms. So it means that it's not a single perspective, it's a multi perspective by judges, law firms, government agencies, and the basically court laws as well. So we cannot say this thing that this is a small thing, and it's only to basically involve the people in different matters, and according to that, give them punishment and penalties as like. But this is the major thing, that it's the implication of law through this basically blue book references and citation, so that the person basically could be get 100% justice, and justice will be everywhere in the state or country, and justified environment for everyone without any discrimination. So after learning one method of citation, it is easier to adjust to other methods. So if you have done, so if you have and you know very well that how to add the citation, how to add references, how to add the things, so in this way you can work on multiple things, and multiple citations method you can use, and in this way you can easily understand that thing, that how the things are collaborating and how the basically laws are integrating and what are the sub and basically sub reference of what of this thing. So Blue Book citation formats are used in all writing courses at Penn State Law. So it means that Penn State Law is the main thing which basically totally focus and emphasize on Blue Book citation format. And they basically try to implement it in the country for 100%. They want a justified system. How to use this guide? This guide will cover only the most general Blue Book rules. Most of the slides will first reference in italics the table, rule, page number, Blue Book, that the slide, turn to that page. So in this way we can see this thing, the index. So Blue Book index at 525, 560 is extremely helpful and detailed. So if you have a Blue Book, so 525 to 560, there are almost 35 pages, which are very helpful, where you can just find out the things, and in this way you can get all the details. What will be the solution, what will be the penalty, and how the thing will be pursued and solved. So rules of evidence and procedure and restatements. B12.1.3. B13 is legislative materials. B14 regulations. B15 to 18 is SCED resources. So here you are looking that in this blue book, it is being tried to cover the old as well as traditional, obsolete laws and the latest things. Each and everything had been designed or refined in a right way. So practitioners note the blue pages. So first of all, if you just look at this thing, blue pages 3 to 56. So here is the basically for documents prepared in legal practice, briefs and memoranda use the blue pages. So these are the main contents through that you can finalize and you can judge that what should be decided and what the things need to find out from this book. So through these 3 to 5, 6 pages, whatever the range has been designed, whatever the range has been declared here, uh, according to that, you have to find out the basically material and its integrated law. The blue pages explain basic citation rules used by lawyers, summer associates, and law clerks. So this one is the thing that it's a totally law-based, you can say citation material or path, where you try to cover educational law or the basically implementation of law. Citation form used for law reviews and journals are in white pages, which are 57 to 231. So here you will get different law reviews or journal names on white pages. And in this way, you can get all the material that what should be decided, and you will get the material references and the other thing. You will need to refer to the white pages for more detailed information about citation. So in white pages, you will get the details, but on blue pages, you will get the basic agenda, basic memoranda, basic concept, or basic, you can say, of every matter. But in white pages, you will get the details of everything. So remember this thing that firstly, there is a need to find out the hierarchy, that what is the basic matter and in which category your problem will exist, or what is the classification of your law system. And when you see this thing, then you will find out, and related to it, you will find the basic topic in blue pages, and after that you will get more detail of that topic or the thing or the matter in white pages. And white pages range, it's very clear that 57 to 231, while blue pages, it's page number 3 to page number 56. So you will need to refer to the white pages for more detailed information about citations. The major differences between the blue and white pages are formatting and font changes. So we will see next slide. Practitioners underscore or italicize the following. So rule B2 at page number 6 or 7. Full and short case names, introductory signals, procedural and explanatory phrases in case citations, ID are as you are looking in italic, titles of books, articles and essays, titles of legislative materials, punctuation in underscored or italicized material. Large and small caps are not required but may be used for stylistic purposes. So large or small capital letters are not basically required, but if you want to use them for your own formatting or your style purpose, you may use it. But remember this thing that these are the basically italic only to put something where the underscore the things are there. General citation rules. Rule B8 at 9. Capitalize court only when naming any court in full, referring to the United Supreme Court, referring to the court that will be receiving the legal document that you plan to file with that court. Examples. This court should grant defendants motions to dismiss. The court held that plaintiff included sufficient facts in his complaint to allege a cause of action for negligent infliction of emotional distress. So this one is the basically general citation rules for court. So if court is full or referring to Supreme Court or referring to other legal document, so this one is the basically law that court should grant defendant motion to dismiss. General citation rules, capitalizing party designations. Rule B8 at 10, when referring to parties in a case in a document that will be filed with the court. Capitalize party designation only when referring to parties in the actual case before the court. Example, you are looking at plaintiff response to defendant's baseless allegations or misconduct. No articles A and the are used here. So this one is the example. In Jones v. Smith, the plaintiff alleged that defendants violated their right to privacy. Articles are used here, but no capitalization. So these are the some of the major points that we have to consider while working and aligning the things according to Blue Book. Numerals. Rule B6 at 9, B6, B.6.2a at 88. Spell out the numbers 0 till 99. In general, spell out the number 0 till 99 except spell out any number that begins a sentence. 100,000 or any round numbers may be spelled out. When a series includes numbers both less than 100 and greater than or equal to 100, numerals should be used for the entire series. So it means you cannot use any basically Roman numbers or something. You have to clearly write down decimal numbers with complete range with complete decimal number. Use numerals with decimal points, percentages, or dollar amounts, sections, or other subdivision number. So each and everything should be clear that it is a simple value, or it is a ratio, or it's an average, or it's a currency, or something else. So everything should be clear in a right way. Otherwise, it will not be considered. So Blue Page's introduction at 3 citations to legal authorities are not placed in parentheses. The three main parts of citation are the signal, source of authority, and parenthetical explanation. So first part is signal, second is authority, and the third one is parenthetical explanation. Some citations do not have a signal or parenthetical expression, but they all have the source of authority. So first is signal, where only the major or the raw thing will be discussed or pointed out. Next is authority, that what is the source or material is available, and parenthetical explanation, the detail that how the court and the Same like matter how it will be dealt in the history or the recent times. Elements of a citation to legal authorities. Example of a case citation will all three parts. So you are looking here 375 Mass 555 concluded that a mother who did not actually witness her daughter's accident but who arrived at the scene and witnessed its immediate aftermath, including her daughter's injuries, was sufficiently close to the scene that her estate could state a claim. As part of this case citation, the first page number on which the court opinion is included as well as the pin side, the page on which the specific information is found are included. Case citation format and pin sites will be discussed in later slides. So here, citation sentences are used to cite authorities that relate to the entire preceding sentence. Citation sentences begin with a capital letter and end with a period. String citation contain numerous citation each separate by a semicolon. So these are the example you are looking here. United States V do 538 F.2D 980, 984 7 CIR 1996 Parker v. Marpo 789. So firstly the country, after that the person's name are coming here, and 789. So 2D8691 AI 2000 Smith v. Fulton 398.2D7278 PA 1999. The Sky is Blue United States V. Dude 7 Sir 96. So you are looking the example here. Okay. So these are some of the things. Different topics organized in Blue Book. Short citation forms, quotations, abbreviations, numerals, symbols, italicization for style, and in unique circumstances. Periodical materials, unpublished and forthcoming sources. So this one is again the beauty of this book that it basically integrate the previous cases matter and the references as well as it also try to cover the future problem and the other things as well. Different topics organized in Blue Book, electronic media and the other non-printing resources, books, reports and other non-periodic materials, services, foreign materials, international materials. So these are the some of the things. So you know very well that Apple company basically there was a case between Apple company and the Samsung Korean company, and it was basically referred to World Court as well. And Apple won that case, and after that, Korean company Samsung basically paid the penalty. And what happened that they paid the penalty in the form of coins. Okay, so it means electronic media and other non-printing resources. It means Facebook and just like cybersecurity and its related all things has been designed and implemented, and according to that, each and everything reference has been quoted here. But unfortunately, when we talk about in Pakistan, in India, in subcontinent countries, so we do not have such updation in our law system. Even the government is trying, and the other departments are also trying, but not alignment with the complete system, complete law system. They have designed some penalties, but only for the basically introductory level, or you can say they are trying, but not completely. Reason there is a great gap between the traditional law system and the latest digital you can say machines and whatever the basically problems are being occurred nowadays in our lives. So it's all being discussed and designed, and the solutions and the penalties are being designed, but at high level, not in depth, and the integration in between with the law system is missing. Then books, reports and other no periodic materials, services, foreign materials, international materials. So this one is the basic clarity of everything that Americans do not want to basically do any worst or bad thing. They believe on this thing that there is a nature. If they do not do justice, then nature is there to do justice. So due to this reason, they do not compromise in any case in the basically in their law or in their whatever. So this is the beauty of this society as well, that they has been designed where every person is follower of law and justice and able to serve the humanity in a positive way. And this is the thing due to which reason that America is a basically advanced world country, and nature is also supporting to them reason they are always trying to do justice. So if there is no justice, so the community or the area or the region will get the worst effects or impacts as well. So this is the main reason due to which reason European and the Americans they are progressing, they are getting development, they are doing different innovations, inventions, and the most important thing, the integration of each and everything according to the time and requirement. We people, subcontinent people, they basically put themselves in useless activities, you can say, and you can say there is no basically integration, updation of our thing. And one more thing that I have seen one thing I want to quote up basically a matter of Bill Gates is also here that Bill Gates' son visited a hotel and he basically enjoy the meal and in this way. So he gave the tip, and after that, on the same hotel, Bill Gates basically reached and enjoyed the meal. And after finishing the meal, he basically gave some tip. So his Bill Gates basically gave the tip very low. So the basically waiter asked this thing and request or anyways smiley way he said this thing that your son has given me this amount of dollar as a huge tip, huge ratio of tip. But on the other hand, you are giving me only a small 1% of that tip. So the Bill Gates reply was very simple that I am not the basically son of the richest person of the world. I'm son of a woodcutter. While on the other hand, my son is the son of the richest person of the world. So whatever the habits he has developed and he has enjoyed, it's become their habit, but not mine. I'm still living and I remember my past. So this one is the thing that when we basically become sincere with each other and we are able to serve the humanity, we are able to serve the nature, to do something good for the nature or this world, then obviously nature will always be ready to help us. And again, food starvation and inflation, these are all the problems which always occur on those areas where the basically people are not sincere, they do not have good deeds, and this is the major cause due to which reason we are looking that major population of the um, earth is in subcontinent as well, and then China as well. But you have seen that China basically has driven his population in a right way, and they has become a industrial giant as well, and same like India is also becoming. But again, we have very smart or rational brains. We have very intelligent people in the world, in subcontinent as well. And there is only need to basically integrate or collaborate the things in a smartly way. And to make each and every individual smart, sincere, rational, or peaceful. So this is the major reason. When all the person become peaceful and sincere to each other, then you will see that humanity will be in a smiley way everywhere in the world. And the world will be basically full of smiles, and there will not be any crime or any worse thing. Legal citation. Black's Law Dictionary defines citation as a reference to a legal precedent or authority, such as a case, statute, treatise that either substantiates or contradicts a given position. Case citations are used by law professionals to claim strength to their cases and the law. We know very well that whenever there is a matter which had been discussed or has been discussed in the court, so there are two lawyers and they basically put the matter in front of judge, and with their basically proofs and their basically references, they try to prove this thing that their basically person is a right is on the right and the other one is culprit. So both will work on this thing, and in this way they use the reference or of law tools and law references as well. That in the same case before 2 year, 3 year, this case was according to these proofs have been discussed or finalized in this way. Same like thing is here that we are working on it. We are basically there is a need to remove these quarrels or something, corruption or the other thing, bad governance, and no integration, no cooperation, no solidarity, no basically serving the humanity, so no greediness. So it's simple is this that if you make the world beautiful, so there's a need to implement the law at 100%. I know very well that what kind of law and justice is here in Pakistan or in India. We know very well we are the neighbors and on the same bed we are here. Same like some traditions are there, but again, this one is the reason that our richer people or powerful people having different laws, but on the other hand, our poor people or mediocre people having different laws. So justice is not equal in our subcontinent. But if you see in America, so justice is for everyone. Okay, so this one is the beauty. So as I have already told you this thing that if there is a justice, so everything or nature will always with you people or with that region as well. Case citation, five basic components. So case name, published source in which the case may be found, a parenthetical indicating the court and year of decision, other parenthetical information, the subsequent history if any. So again, you have to find out the main case, and after that, you will find out all the related cases, whatever have been discussed or finalized according to their whole story and matter. It will be there. So in this way, you will get a basically rough story, or you will get the working that in which way the upcoming matter will be discussed or presented in front of judge in the court. So case citation. So this one is Miss Sadia Sambal Bhatt, plaintiff versus Rafiq Afghan and three others defendant. So Miss Sadia Sambal Bhatt versus Rafiq Afghan and three others. Sadia versus Rafiq Afghan. So you are looking at there are three types of citation are here, but you are looking second one was wrong. Reason only Miss Sadia Sambal is here, Rafiq Akhwan is there, but other names are not. So in this way we can put and we can decide something. Full case citation. So this one is the example that I put and finalized for you people. This one is the main crunch of this presentation. Full case citation. Party's name Sadia versus Rafiq. Volume number 22. Source PLD. Case page 60. Court norm name Supreme Court, year published 2006. So this one is full case citation. Second example you are looking here, Nadeem A dissenting holding debt. So concurring or dissenting opinion, history of case, police officers' action did not rise to level of due to process violation. So you are looking at how full case basically citation will be implemented. Tip: three forms mostly used. Sadia, 22 PLD at 70, 22 PLD at 70, ID at 100. ID is used to refer the immediately authority. Its main purpose is to save space and reduce the amount of citation clutter in your writing. So you are looking here that how the things you can judge and you can design, but you have to follow this format. Status citation, federal statute, courts and session laws, state statute. So federal statute citation, three basic components: official name of the act, official name of the act again, published source which the act may be found, a parenthetical indication year of publication, year the statute was passed. So year of publication is something else, and when it was passed, its year was different. So state statute citation same as federal statute citation. Full citation here: CURT Curt Fees Act, MBH, it's a publication. Name of the act is Curt Fees Act. Publication MBH, section number dollar, year of publication 2006, year of act passed 1870. So, source Alien Tort Claims Act ACTA 28 USC 13502006. So this one is the basically statute citation. Courts and session laws. Courts are divided into titles, chapters, and sections. Four basic components for citation are court: title number, abbreviated name, section number, year of cited court edition. So these are the basically courts and session laws. Title number, session number, section number. So title number is 42 CRPC, 42. CRPC is your abbreviated name. Section number is $2 and edition year is 2006. Session laws. Session laws are a bound collection of all statutes enacted by a given legislature arranged chronologically in the order they were passed. Four basic components: official name of law, public law number, volume number and page number, year statute was passed. So you are looking here that it's a complete format and it has been designed in such a way that everything could be in arranged forms in a chronological order, in a hierarchical order, and whenever there is a need, you can get the reference related to all the codes and the methods and the things, and you will get all the details that if the matter is this one, then what was happened in the court and what has been decided in the country, etc. Sessions laws citation. Official name of law, Stamp Act, and you are looking there, publication number 39, public law number. So session laws, we know very well, it's only for public. Session courts and session laws, it has been always for your public. Then $4, its section number, 80 states, volume number, and then page number 931. Public law number, year statute, you are looking the whole format of it. Rules, regulation, and other publications. Basic components: title number, abbreviated set of rules and regulation, date of court, edition cited. Note: All these followed by the same rule: official reports, slip opinion, advisory opinion. So rules always basically designed in such a way that so that small matters, small things could be justified, or the upcoming problems that are coming in the future, there should be a way. Federal taxation material, treasury regulation, treasury determination, stock exchange material, presidential paper and executive orders, court administrative orders, patents, citation, service law ruling, procedure of increments, dollar for March 2009. So these are some of the rules basically I have discussed with you, rules, regulation and other publications. Books, reports and other non-periodic material. So main components are what? Author's full name, title of book, editor's name. So these are the mandatory things we know very well. Abbreviation for editor, publisher, who cited edition, year of edition cited, original date of publication. So these are all the main things that we use in every basically citation way we have to add. Author full name, title book, editor's name, abbreviation for editor. These are general. If you just work on it, then you can do this thing. Volume, author, title, pinpoint, site, edition year. So Austin versus Court, The Law of Trust, 6.2, fourth edition, 1990. So special book citation forms, and it will be Black's Law Dictionary 4, 5, 7th edition, 99. So these are the basically book citation or the other things you are looking here. Articles, consecutively, non-consecutively and consecutively. So these are two things. So consecutively mean that one thing you have done, the other one person is doing the extension of that thing that you have missed. And again, the other one is again improving and adding more feature in it. And again, and in this way, it's a ongoing process. Non-consecutively, it's related to this thing that once you have developed a thing, so there is no chance to improve that thing or you are not doing further. So citing consecutively articles, author, title, periodical name, year, or parenthetical. James Smith, Reflections on the Prosecution of War Crimes by International Tribunals. 100 AM, J International. 551-2006, discussing the Nuremberg trials. Citing non-consecutive articles. Author's title, periodical name, date of issue at page. Rachel Williams, counsel found liable for birth defects, Medla, Wed 929 209 at 2. So you are looking the difference between this one and this one. This one is consecutively article citation, and this one is non-consecutive article citation. Electrical resources. We know very well that we are in the age of digital era where the things are going on, and we are in the age of artificial intelligence, and still the things are going on. Our elders enjoy the simple mobiles, but now why our siblings and we also basically enjoying touch mobile. So maybe our siblings in and their sibling will be in future, they will enjoy the basically different other gadgets or applications in their life. Reason is this: we are in the era of artificial intelligence, and the still things are going on, improvement is there, new inventions and innovations items are being introduced where you cannot basically say that it will true and this one is not true. So commercial electronic databases and internet citations. So we are going to discuss this thing. Commercial electronic databases. The Blue Book is referring to Westlaw and Lexis, though there are others like Lois Law. So again, you know very well that there was a case on Facebook as well, who was the basically the owner of Facebook, Mark Lemberg, basically faced faced the basically matter in front of court and replied and so this one is the thing that Facebook is basically going to remove the privacy of everyone, and if the person is online, so his movement and his location will be judged at any time through Facebook. So in this way, the privacy and the crimes and the life threats of someone, it can be. Okay, so privacy is very important thing, and everyone want privacy, and obviously everyone want to take rest, and everyone do not want that someone keep eye on the person, and you are always basically a puppet, and according to that you are moving. Humans always enjoy to move freely, and this is the basic instinct of human, that human always want freedom, and human do not like to follow the instruction of any other human. So commercial electronic databases, it's simple, is referring to Westlaw and Lexis to, there are other like Loisla. Normally three databases are cited: cases, statutes, and other sources. So in this way, different databases has been designed, and uh, for these electronic databases, laws will be different. Okay, fishing, farming, Trojan horse, then war driven, and there are many other digital terms are there. Through that, data can be hacked, and the privacy of the other person can be leaked out, and we cannot say anything. But again, Blue Book citation and Blue Book totally focus on this thing, that every human having its own privacy and its freedom. So due to this reason, American government basically called to the owner of Facebook, and in this way, Mark Zuckerberg, and after that they basically removed this feature. Cases citation, case name, docket number, database identifier, court name, full date. Davis v. James. So these are some of the citation example that I have mentioned and I have shown you. So these are just example. So status citation in the parenthetical indicate the database publisher and how current the database is comparable to the copyright year of the hard copy. So rule 18 only if it is unavailable. So in this way we can do this thing, and this one is the site status citation is there, that Mon code and 247 Westlaw through 2000 legislation. Other sources indicate any dataset, database identifier, and if it is unclear, which database is being used in the parenthetical. So this one is again another format you are looking. Internet citation, direct citation and parallel citation. So here you can see internet access in two ways, direct and parallel. So author, title or status, case name and pagination, publication date and URL is there. So in this way you can basically finalize internet citation. Direct citation, Tom Partey, father of the Tuckman, dies 66 Guardian newspaper December 21, 2006, and after that there is a link. Then parallel citation, Town of Concord 2007 Community Preservation Plan, Concord Community Preservation Committee, September this one, available at this one, and link is there. So in this way, direct and parallel, you can do this thing. I think my time um, has become 2 hour, but I'm just finishing. It's maybe last slides are there. So moderator, I hope that you will allow me to finish it.
Yes, sir, you
So
can go
books
ahead.
aids on the, okay, thank you. So books aids on the Blue Book, understanding and mastering the Blue Book, a hands-on guide to learning citation form, user guide to the Blue Book uniform system of citation, legal writing citation. So these are some of the helping, uh, you can say books and material through that you can basically learn more about Blue Book citation. So these are the references to that I completed my presentation. So I have put it there. So you may read it, you may learn more about Blue Book citation while reading these materials.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mr. Faisal. So your valuable knowledge with respect to citation, Blue Book, ALWD guide will definitely contribute a lot in our academic development. As we all know that citation is amongst the most critical area in the field of research and writing books. Not only this, but Sir has also explained very nicely the five basic components for case citation as well, and gave all of us various insights of legal world as well. Well, now the house is open for any kind of query or discussion. You people can raise your hands. We can wait for another 2 to 3 minutes if you people are having any kind of query or you people want to interact with sir. I think sir, nobody is having any kind of doubt. They all are quite satisfied what they heard today.
Okay, thank you very much for the basically compliments, and obviously your audience is very basically rational and very interactively they learn and listen all the basically presentation. I'm really grateful to all of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Well, now the time is for our second technical session. So, for our second technical session, we have Dr. Ruchi Raj Thakur with us. Dr. Ruchi Raj is an educator and working as assistant professor of English at Himachal Pradesh National Law University, Shimla. Ma'am is having experience of more than 13 years and had published many research papers in national, online, and offline journals. Ma'am has translated a book originally written in Hindi, Adivasi Abhiyukti, as well. Not only this, but ma'am has been a resource person for various FDPs and workshops. Now, without further delay, I invite Dr. Ruchiraj to kindly start the session. I think,
Thank you
ma'am,
so much, Madam Faiza Chaudhary. Thank you so much for those kind and generous words for me. So I'll follow the instructions and I'll not waste any time and I'll get to the work. So let's begin with a second session where I'll be talking about thesis, I mean, how to develop, how to plan thesis writing. And before I share my presentation, I would just like to, I mean, speak about the dilemmas we have when we are, thinking of inducting ourselves into the research arena. And, or if I talk about PhD, to be, I mean, precisely, because I mean, whenever we think of getting into the field of research, or contributing to research, you know, we are we have so many confusions in our mind where there are so many endless thoughts we have, a number of ideas we have, but of course all ideas cannot be put together. They cannot find a place in your research. Now, I'll be talking about the writing part of PhD, where of thesis. I'll be talking about thesis writing. So, of course, writing. I hope you'll agree that we can talk about things, we can think about things, but writing is a difficult task. I'm not saying it is an impossible task, but yes, it is little difficult because a lot goes into writing. So when it comes to thesis writing, of course, you find yourself a little restive, and thesis writing is of course challenging. You think, you have so many queries. How should I start? What to incorporate? How to complete it? Whether my mentor will support me, whether I'll be able to, how will I go about it? Will I be able to make my point clearly? If I do that, will I be able to defend what I've written? So PhD, or to talking about thesis writing, because I'm relating it with PhD. So of course it takes a toll on your mind. It is not only time consuming, but to be very honest, if I talk about it as a researcher, or if I talk about as a I mean, if I talk on behalf of beginners, then this thought of writing PhD thesis would always lurk in your mind. You will, wherever you go, you are partying, you are shopping, wherever you go, you are bothered by the very thought that what am I doing? Am I wasting my time? Should I be talking about? Should I be spending more time, in writing? So you sacrifice because you want to do justice to this. So what do? You leave everything. You limit yourself, and you sacrifice your social life. That is why I said it is difficult. Yes, it is difficult, but the only way to make this process less painful is by planning and executing good strategies to survive and complete this mammoth task. So today I'll be talking about how to develop, how to plan, how to develop thesis. And for that, I'll just take a pause here and I'll share my presentation. Yeah, you'll have to tell me if my presentation is visible.
Yes, ma'am, we were able to see, but now the screen is blank. Now it's working now.
Yes. All right. So I've titled my presentation as thesis writing and planning, as I was talking about, and these are the contents of the presentation. Uh, Dear learners, I'll be talking about thesis, what exactly thesis mean, what is the difference between thesis and dissertation, structure of thesis, planning, significance of thesis topic, introduction, thesis statement, problem, hypothesis, chapterization, literature review, methodology, discussion, and then coming to the concluding part of thesis writing. Uh, Now, as I said, that everything becomes simple and easy, and you can win the battle if you are a good planner. Now, how to plan? What should be? What all things should be thought about when you are planning when you're planning thesis writing. You're obviously, I mean, as I've already discussed, that you'll be having a number of questions. Your mind will be full of doubts, and will be full of questions. And the first question that you should be bothered about is should be, what problem does your thesis focus on? Now, dear learners, um, when you think of writing, you need to look for a name. There has to be a motive, there has to be a subject means a problem. You need to, because why do we write? What do we talk about? We talk about something that is bothering us. For example, I thought, suppose I out of the blue, I just thought of writing, and then I thought that what should I get I am disturbed by a very thought that what should I write about? What how should my writing be contributing to the society? What should be the problem? Means what should be the issue of my writing? So then after thinking about it, after deliberating upon the whole issue, I think of talking about the marginalized section. Now, marginalized section is has become a bigger umbrella. So out of that, I should be I'm supposed to pick up something specific. So maybe I'll talk about the issues of transgenders. So that is your problem, means that is the issue that you would like to talk about in your thesis. I'm just citing an example, and the same could be done. We think of something from from something big, we try to extract something specific. So that gives you your problem. That gives you an idea that this issue can be raised. Now, the second thing that should be bothering you is method. The methods to conduct your research and then to write are varied. There are numerous ways you can do that. There could be questioning. You can prepare questionnaires. It could be merely on the basis of observation. You look and you think about things and then you start writing. For example, you saw a boy in almost dilapidated condition, in tattered clothes, begging for food, and standing in front of a kiosk which is serving a number of customers, but only those customers who were paying the owner of the kiosk. So you think of the state of that boy who is deprived of the right to eat. So you think of writing something on him. So that is completely based on observation. There are likewise there are different methods. You can conduct surveys, you can have interviews. For example, you're talking about you talk about partition. You're trying to find what happened, the catastrophe of 1984. So how are you going to do that? You can interview the victims. So you have to strategize that how will I go about my research, because that will help you to write. You will pen down everything that you do. So the third that demands your attention is results. What results are you aiming at? What are you trying to find? And then what are your expectations? What are you trying to bring to the society? Fourth, how do you substantiate your result? Are you going to deeply are you will you deeply get into the core of the problem, or you're going to conduct superficially? That will show in the form of, that will that will show itself in the form of results. Results means findings. What will be your findings? How will you defend here? How do you substantiate, or means that how are you going to defend your claim or results? For example, if I say sun rises rises from east and sets in west. So what is the logic? How do you get this? Of course it is a universal fact, but you are going to quote it, right? So how are you going to defend this part of your finding? Moving further, what conclusions did you reach? Means after you conducted research based on different methods, what have you deduced from your study, from your research? So those conclusions, what is your unique contribution? Now see, when we claim that we are researching, that means you bring out a particular problem, that means you're aiming to solve it. So the contribution of research to the world is to make the world a better place by solving a particular problem. As I said, I'm talking about transgenders. Why am I talking about transgenders? It's because I would like to make changes in the perspective of society. I would want society to look at them more respectfully. And not that, I mean, I am not writing about them because I want to show people that I'm working for the marginalized without any aim. I mean, so your aim needs to be, when you're talking about marginalized, that means you're aiming. I'm just citing, example here. That means you're trying to put words in the mouth of muted in the mouth of muted victims who are marginalized, who are browbeaten, who are suppressed, who are subordinated, who are told that you are subservient to the society. So means whenever you're talking about something in your research which you are aiming to develop in your thesis, that means you're aiming to solve a particular problem. Solving means there's a unique way you would like to contribute to the society, or to the literary circle, or to the research arena. Now, moving to the last question, because you're planning the whole thing, what is the future scope of your findings? What is what I mean here? Your research must enable a researcher to focus on the research within the achievable parameters. Means what is plausible, what is possible. Think of those. I mean, the things which are implausible, which are far away from you cannot procure them, you cannot achieve them. I mean, there's no point thinking about them. Thesis in, I mean, your planning is almost done, but you're still in preliminary stage where you are still confused. You're trying to find out what exactly should be done. When we think, when we to put it, let's take the micro perspective and let not talk about the macro perspective, because thesis is a comprehensive document. If I only talk about research article, it takes time to think about. You plan everything, that this is the issue I'll be talking about, and all those things need to, find a way in abstract. That is why when you think of writing an abstract, it is not that you face a number of difficulties. So coming back to this, thesis in preliminary stage where you're still planning, now where pre-plannings are done, where plannings are done, where the thought process is still on. The first thing is, you would plan how to prepare a thesis outline. What should be incorporated? How will I go about it? What all points will I include? So means you prepare a thesis outline, a layout of your thesis is prepared. Moving to the second, of course, we have so many ideas. Ma'am, you would go to your supervisor and you will, you will discuss your issues with your supervisor. Madam or sir, I would like to work on these. All these areas are within my interest. I want to touch upon all these. So can you work on all? No. You have to pick up something which interests you. So that discussion needs to be done with your supervisor. So in the preliminary stage, to just to have clarity that what are you going to expound in your thesis, how will you develop your thesis, uh, you discuss it with supervisor, because you are very clear in your thought that thesis writing is certainly not scribbling on a paper. You don't scribble on a paper, it is meaningful. So scribbling is something where you pen down anything and everything which is informal in nature. So within that planning section, you move you you try to think of preparing chapter outline, that these are the areas which I would highlight in my work. These are the areas which, these are the particular issues the writer has underscored in his writing. Moving to the fourth point, right, start with, right, or start with something. So you think of starting with something. Suppose you talk about the freedom struggle of India, and then you or the role of literature in accelerating the pace of freedom struggle of India. So you think of writing something, and and when your thesis writing is in its first stage, we write anything that comes to our mind, and I am sure you are clear with the steps of drafting. We write anything and everything, whatever comes to your mind, you pen it down. You add that into your in your writing, in your document. So that is a preliminary step, and you do whatever you wish to, because you know that you are just putting together the abstract thoughts, which can be refined with the passage of time, and all those abstract ideas, after editing, can give a concrete shape to the idea. Now, I'll be mainly talking about PhD, as I mean the dilemmas and or the do's and the requirements of the quintessential of PhD, because thesis is a comprehensive document, and we believe that it is in PhD, or in when you are aiming to procure the PhD degree, the doctorate degree, you write thesis and not dissertation, which I'll talk about later. Now, what is a thesis? As I've already talked about, thesis being a comprehensive document, so I'll add to what I've written in the slide, that thesis is a long document, a long piece of writing based on your ideas and thoughts, and research, which expresses that particular idea or theory, expressed in the form of a statement and discussion, which is of course in a logical manner. And why thesis is written? Because it has a purpose. The purpose of thesis is to communicate the research findings to other researchers. Researchers' findings to other researchers. And you know what? Thesis is just like an evidence. You must have heard that written communication has a legal validation. Likewise, this thesis is an example of written communication. So it acts as an evidence. And what is it used for? It is used as an evidence to understand researchers' acumen in identifying research problem. His The way he had conducted a literature study, how he performed logical and critical thinking, how he managed this thesis writing, and how he completed all this report, or this reporting, by putting everything in the form of thesis. So a thesis is a clear picture of researchers' idea, his opinion, his notion about a particular phenomenon, or if he's adding more, then phenomenas. So, a thesis is a document submitted in support of candidature for an academic degree or professional qualification, presenting the author's research and findings. And it is believed that it is a part of university's degree, especially PhD. And this PhD is a work of persuasive augmentation, because you augment, you think about different avenues. When you think about a particular concept or a phenomenon, lot many, and you try to get into the depth, you try to touch deep, then lot of deliberation, lot of study, lot of research, lot of augmentation is demanded. It focuses on research, problem, question, issues, etc. And the validity of research is explained too. Means you talk about the future implication or the scope of your research. Moving further to the next slide, here I'll be talking about what is the difference between the differences between similarities and differences between thesis writing and dissertation. Difference between thesis and dissertation. Now, starting from similarity, it is believed when we are talking about about any concept, we should always talk about the benefits first, the advantages first, and then move on to the drawbacks. So here we'll be talking about we'll also start with something more positive where both of them juxtapose and they don't act on parallel lines. So if we look at thesis and dissertation, both of them incorporate abstract, introduction, literature review, main text, and conclusion. And looking at the similarities box, both of them are are skillful defense of an academic argument, the stance or main point of the paper. They both incorporate this study or this writing is based on analytical reasoning and critical thinking. When I'm saying you must be I mean naturally you are bothered that how will you defend your PhD, or how are you going to defend your document, be it thesis or be it a dissertation. Then I'm sure your study, your research is based on some logic. It cannot be illogical. It cannot be without any reasoning. So both of them are based on critical thinking, where you critically look at things, where you critically gauge things, and you have a reasoning. You develop reasoning. You talk about something because you have an answer to that. That it is based on this. You are saying this because it is based on a particular that you defend your logic because it has some basis, or it is not baseless. Moving to the third point, in both you will find that the writers have in-depth expertise about the subject of research, the area of research, and a willingness to rewrite and edit based on feedback from professors, peers, or committee members. We are exposed to pre-submission viva, and there you get a number of responses. Some may lash at you, some may appreciate you. So those who lash at you because they have some particular they have some convincing point, so I mean those can be considered positive compliments, because you can have a feedback, an honest feedback. So both of them can be edited, they can be rewritten, because you welcome feedback, you welcome responses from different audience. Okay. Oh, I did not talk about differences. Now, talking about differences, to be very honest, I mean, in India, thesis is for PhD and dissertation is for UG and PG. If that is one of the components of evaluation. Otherwise, I mean, if you look at law, then they have dissertation when they're doing LLM. But if you're doing simple masters in English or in any other subject, you don't have to write. There's no component where you don't find dissertation as a component of evaluation. So similarly, you will find in UK also, thesis is for PhD, and for UG and for PG, you have dissertation. Whereas, and the same pattern is followed in many countries. But if you look at US, in US, thesis is the other way around. Thesis is for UG and PG courses, and dissertation is for PhD. It is applied to doctorate. And whatever features you find in dissertation, all those get reversed when we talk about when we are talking about the contour which belong to USA. So, what are the three main? The first I've already highlighted, that thesis in India, I mean, depending upon the countries, people have different. They place thesis for different courses, dissertation for different courses. This has already been explained. Now, talking about the length, if you talk about India and UK, then 300 plus or 300 pages are for thesis. That would be the length of thesis. Whereas for dissertation, it would be 100 or 100 plus. And going back to USA, the this condition will also reverse, 300 for dissertation and 100 for thesis. And looking at the next point of difference, the difference lies in the degree you obtain after completing these papers. A thesis allows for getting a higher degree. So thesis is for PhD, and dissertation is considered to be a smaller part of the first degree. But dear learners, I've already explained that yeah, it varies from country to country. Moving further, now again coming back to thesis writing, where I'll be talking about the components that need to be included in the structure of thesis, because you need to raise the edifice of thesis. So what all will be the what all components will enable you to construct that, and that too very strongly. So you'll start with an introduction. Every document, dear learners, whatever you write, be it a story, be it an article, be it thesis or dissertation, you can you open discussion to the readers, and that discussion, the opening of discussion, is considered to be introduction, where they must know what will you talk about. So how do we shape introduction? We start from general and then we move to specific. Means you start from something, you open the discussion from the point which is familiar to the listeners or to the readers, and then slowly you move to the point which is specific and which is unknown to the readers. And when we think of adding to the or contributing to the society, we always think of giving something new. New means unfamiliar, which is not known to anyone, the area which is virgin, which has not been noticed, which has gone unnoticed for years. So you begin from something which is known to the readers, and then you move. It is up to you. After laying the foundation, you swiftly move to the unknown part, or you take a little more time to get to the destination, to the desired target. That's up to you. What will be your pace? And of course, if this would be corrected by your supervisor. Now, methods. You think of the strategies. What are the different technical applications used? I've already discussed. See, there are many topics which require a number of methods, where you can interview, where you can observe. For example, I'll cite an example here. Coming back to the same example where I was talking about transgenders, my observation is transgenders are humiliated socially. People chase them, people clap to mock at them, to ridicule what they are, what nature has made them. This is my observation. Now, I would, because I want to get deeper into this particular subject, so I would go to those people and I'll talk to them, and I'll try to find out what are the challenges they are facing in this, in the social media, and what politics is doing for them, or the political scenario is doing for them, and how economically they are sound. So to get that, I have to decide that what will be the apt application or strategy. Should I be sending questionnaires? Because many a times I've seen questionnaires remain unresponded. People do not react to them very quickly because sometimes questionnaires are too bulky, too complicated. But interviewing them, going to them, meeting them, talking to them, that would be easier. And it becomes easy to take notes. Or if you don't take notes right there, you think about, all those I'm sure their woes, their doleful condition will chisel deep into your minds. Moving further, results. What are the findings? Of course, that needs to trouble you, because you need to give something. There has to be an outcome of your effort. You endeavored hard, you thought about something, you planned something, and then you conceptualize something by writing. So means you documented everything. So there needs to be, you need to give something to the society, to the research world. Now, moving further, the fourth point, which is the main part of the whole, layout, and that is discussion, where you will expound what have you endeavored to bring out. So, what does the researcher discuss? You have to elaborate. What are you trying to talk about? What are you aiming at? You communicate the significance of your findings. You indicate how they support the hypothesis. You describe how these results advance in the field of study. This is the main point. So this emerges from the result, and this is picked from the discussion. So you have number of whatever questions you have raised, you will answer all those in discussion. Means it is the main text, it is the main body. Oh, sorry. The last point is conclusion. The conclusion one reaches after the conduct of research. Now, what is the significance of a thesis? Is it important to have a thesis? I mean, why should we write about thesis? So I've already discussed that, but I'll still try to throw light on it. Thesis, as this document contains an idea or a theory, so it highlights general contributions, or general contribution of the study. The specific, the precise, the particular, and the application of the study. This is incorporated in thesis, and that makes it an important document. What else makes it important? It thesis, indicate the relevance of the work, potential outcomes, and the major benefits of the study. So how can we think of skipping it? There is no your verbal your version, your verbal what to say your verbal communication has no validity. Whatever you think, whatever you do, it fades away with time if it is not documented, if it is not recorded in the form of thesis. Because when you write thesis, it sparks interest of the reader, because it expresses the purpose or the main point of your research. Why should he be reading it? What will he get out of it? The it talks about your opinion on this topic. It is your commitment to the reader about the content, purpose, and organization of your study, and it provides clear, specific argument that will serve as a guide to the reader. So one knows what to expect from the study, and it serves as the backbone of your work. When you conceive an idea, it is an abstract thing. But when that conception, how it becomes concrete, when you shape it in actual. So when that idea sees the light, then it becomes something real. So that your ideas are abstract, but when you pour them on papers, then it becomes something concrete. Now, moving further, uh, is thesis topic important? Should you be naming your thesis? Should a book have a title on the cover page? Uh, should a research paper have, you know, the title on it, the topic on it, or chapter must open up about the subject line, or to put it in simple words, why do we have a component or ingredient called subject line, or which is also called attention line, in a letter? uh, because you want to tell the reader that this is what you're going to talk about, and this is what he will be reading. So title reflects the content of the thesis. You're talking about social context mentioned in dash 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 or XYZ's work. So that means you have told him that this is what you're going to underline, this is what you're going to bring to fore, and this is what he's going to read. And that's how we decide whether this book or this particular document is of it can interest us or not. So that comes with the, if you put everything precisely, the reader will, without wasting, without squandering one's time, the reader can lay hands on the books which can, or works which can help him in future. So talking a little more about thesis topic and I mean its importance, it is this, why should thesis be titled? Because it is the subject you aim to write about, so that the reader must know that this is what you are aiming to talk about, this is something that he will read about. And by having a catchy, of course relevant and meaningful, I'm not only talking about the all fancy words must find a place in the topic. All I'm trying to say is that your research, your sorry the topic of your document should be interesting, it should be innovative, and it should be relevant within the field. So all these points need to be taken care of. And how do we choose a topic? What are the essentials? Topic must be chosen as per your interest, and to get to the topic you need to lay hands on different things which are available in the market, or to put it precisely, things available in the research arena, in the field of research, which is very wide. You have works on everything, so it is so very difficult to find out that what new are you going to give to the readers or to the research world. Now formulate a research question which is important, that what are you aiming to bring to fore, and what will be the focus, and try to focus on the thesis statement. uh, this is something that all these are actually the these are the quintessential of research. You will be able to proceed further if you have clarity about research question and the topic. Now moving to the next component of thesis writing. Dear learners, as I've told you, I mean, you cannot abruptly start. You need to lay introduction, you need to give introduction, you need to make the readers, you need to build a rapport, and you need to bring the readers to that level. And so for that it is important that you deliver an introductory speech, or you create or you write something where which is relatable. So that is why it is said introduction must start from known to unknown, from familiar to unfamiliar, from veiled to unveiled. So that must be kept in mind. So there are different things that you need to think about when you open up. when your topic is clear, when your question is clear in your mind, uh, and then when you are ready with your thoughts, then you must think of penning down or shaping or designing your introduction. Now, what is that? Now that begins with something called a statement of problem. Are you clear with the issue? Do you know the question? What answer to what is the question to which you are responding? What is the thesis statement? Thesis statement will make the picture very clear to the readers. For that, you will be giving background information, as I said, known to unknown, and then, of course, general to specific. Literature gives voice to, to the unvoiced. Literature is a chariot wheel of let me rephrase. Literature plays a vital role in making a movement. So how then you talk about, that's a general statement, then you come to the specific statement, that the spirit of nationalism was somewhere affected by, it was aroused by literature, because many writers came into picture. They wrote about the plight of the country under the colonial rule and things like that. So from general, your discussion is moving to specific. Now, what to write in introduction? What do we know? You what are you going to write about? What are you going to incorporate in introduction? That would be, what do you know about the topic? What we don't know, the gap. What is the aim? What are you trying to talk about? And why is it important? Why is it important to give introduction? It sets the tone. Please understand this, that I tell my students that when you open a discussion, please tell what are you going to talk about. So tell what you will be telling. So this is the credo of introduction. And this credo actually sets the tone of the composition and arouses readers interest, and indicates the subject. And it also follows the principle of general to, sorry, it also follows the principle of general to specific, as I've already discussed with the help of an example. And this means, you begin with a general statement and then smoothly move to the specific. And this can be done by also talking about that particular area. For example, if I talk about, literature is a wider term. But when I talk about Dalit literature, then from general, from a wider, I've moved to something specific. And when I say that Dalits have been subject to subjugation at the hands of upper caste, and this is not to offend anybody, I'm just citing an example, but it is worth noticing that Dalit women are, unfortunately, Dalit women are victims at the hands of upper caste, as well as men who belong to their own community. So means, there are many books on Dalit literature, but a very few books on Dalit feminism. So from wider, I've come to. I'm not saying that's a narrow study. That is why I'm using specific, from general to specific. So that's important. And this is the gap, that there are many writers have written on the woes of, on the tribulations, on the doleful conditions of Dalits, but very less writers have talked about Dalit feminism. So this is the gap, and I'm just trying to fill that gap. Now, moving further, how to write a good introduction. This can be done very easily if you strategize everything and you break your introduction, or you divide your introduction into three parts. your introduction can be divided into, they can be in three paragraphs, but not essentially in three paragraphs. But you need to understand that there are few components that you need to, there are few breakups that you need to introduce into your into this particular concept, and that is the introduction. So when you talk about, I mean, the first sentence, talk about the three paragraphs. But when you start the first, the first sentence of your introduction must identify the, must identify the problem, and also give, give a signal about the results you are aiming at. And this can be done in the first paragraph, where you give brief introduction. You talk about the relevance of your statement, by referring to the study or the subject you are trying to explore. You discuss the nature of the problem, and you question, and you bring out the question that is bothering you, means you raise the problem and the purpose of thesis writing. What are you endeavoring? What are you aiming at? What your target? What is your objective behind writing this? And when you move to the second paragraph, second paragraph is more detailed. It is an overview of the problem. You talk about the importance, you talk about methods, you talk about the intellectual context, and then the findings. So you discuss unclear issues, new problems from concepts unknown. And then you move to the third paragraph. The last paragraph is, it usually lists what will be covered in subsequent chapters, and you can do it in one or two sentences per chapter. So the third paragraph will talk about the chapterization, that your thesis will have, or your discussion will be divided in the following chapters: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here you also talk about the rational hypothesis, main objectives, and purpose, why study was done. So three paragraphs, they're talking about, they're actually trying to shape, give shape to your discussion. But one question is very important to ponder over, and that is, when as a researcher, when as a writer, will you, or you should be writing introduction? And for that, I'll be looking for a response. Is there anyone who can answer this? Should introduction be written at the very start of the process, or after you complete your first chapter, or second, or what is the right time you can think of writing an introduction? What makes your introduction good, besides the points I've discussed? Is there anyone who can answer this?
Ma'am,
Yeah,
I think introduction should chapter should be written at the last because we will get familiar.
absolutely, absolutely. Truly, your answer is convincing. When you look at your state, when you are asked to write synopsis, when you write your synopsis, that's the very first step you think of developing thesis. When you write synopsis and you look at it after a year or two, when you feel that you have grown up with your subject. So when you look at the synopsis, you find, oh, what have I written? Oh, it is such a shoddy work. I was not clear with the thoughts, and you think of tearing that document off. Why? Because you were clueless when you were thinking. And we write synopsis which is to be submitted in RDCs. And if I talk about myself, then I remember that I took time, but I was not clear what exactly to incorporate in thesis. The same goes in introduction. When you start your work, when you start writing and developing thesis with the introduction, then you find it a very, I mean, you find it something which needs a lot of editing, which needs. Is there anyone who's talking? A simple answer to this is we must be writing introduction after completing I mean, after giving shape to the body of the, body of the thesis. So that's the right time to write your introduction, because by that time you're very clear with what you aim to bring out, what are your findings and what are your results. So after doing that, you won't find, you will not take much time to design or your introduction, and that at that moment it would be very easy to tailor your document in a better way. Moving to the next slide. Now, thesis statement. And what is a thesis statement? Now, thesis statement is a statement which gives a clear and concise idea or a subject to the reader, and it is certainly not summary, but a point to argue. You tell your your readers that this is what you're going to defend. This is what you are criticizing. Munshi Premchand talked about that he talked about untouchability. He talked about the tribulations. He mainly talked about lower caste people, and he criticized upper caste people. And he talked about social issues. And all his writings are social documents. But to find a have a better picture of India, you must be reading Yashpal, who was the disciple of Premchand. So, I mean, you very clearly bring out what are you aiming at. You are here not, I mean, you are not criticizing, but somewhere you're trying to bring out the lacuna in the writings of Premchand, and here you're talking. You're trying to defend the works of Yashpal. So I hope you could understand with the help of example, and I'll be discussing the example which is given, which I've put on the slide. And it must reflect, this thesis statement reflects the full scope of your argument. And how do you think of framing this statement? By asking yourself how and why. How are you going to defend? And why should you be defending? So your answers must be, your reasoning must be all clear in your head. And make sure that your reader can easily identify your thesis statement. I mean, if as a writer you are confused that Premchand is also good and Yashpal is also good. Now, if both are good, then what new are you talking about? So those things make the thesis. Just water. Those things make your thesis weak. So that must be kept in mind. Now, look at this. A prompt. This is a question that you have in your mind. Should uniform be mandatory for law graduates? Both the speakers are talking only about lawyers and law graduates, and the research which happens in the field of law. It's because I am also teaching in law university, so I picked up a problem from the same area. Now, should uniform be mandatory for law graduates? This is the question. And the weak thesis. What makes your thesis weak? When your picture is blur. It is embarrassing for law graduates when you give rationals like this. You know what? They'll not feel good. So they'll not feel good. So they should be so uniform should not be mandatory for them. That doesn't make sense. Those who are compelled to be in uniforms feel stifled, means they feel suffocated. So should this be the answer? No. Such students grow with bitter memories, means those who wear uniforms, they don't have good memories. Now, looking at strong thesis, what makes your thesis strong? What makes your statement strong? Which has a reasoning, which has a solid base. Uniforms should not be mandatory for law graduates because they feel stifled on account of their rights and freedom, and make them feel loss of interest in colleges. So you said that they feel strangulated or noosed or suffocated. That's not a correct answer. Now, why do they feel it? Because they feel that their rights and their freedom, their independence is under peril. Their rights are being infringed, so it should not be made mandatory. So these are the reasonings that you're going to give. If you give that, your thesis statement becomes strong. Now, moving to the statement of problem. Statement of problem. A research problem is a statement. Means your question, the issue that you would be highlighting is the problem, and a research problem is in a statement about an area of concern, a condition to be improved, a difficulty to be eliminated, or a troubling question that exists in scholarly literature, in theory, or in practice. All are meaningful because because they are asking something. These are the issues we all are looking responses to. So that's I mean, you what are you going to elaborate? What are you going to bring out in your thesis? You Whatever is the problem, whatever is the cause that has compelled you to write, that has to be put in the form of a statement. So it must be related. Always remember that if you're talking about a particular your subject line, just a minute. Please, can you please switch off the mic? Who's that? Organizers, can you uh, tell the learners to switch off their mics?
He muted now, ma'am.
All right. All right. So, statement of problem, it is related, it should be related to the title, whatever is the subject line. So your problem must be related to that. If you're talking about partition and that's the subject line, so the problem must also be related to that. The reader must immediately get an idea of the issue from the title. Means the title, the frame title must speak everything for itself. It must not be in yes or no, but must be mentioned in the form of documentation or study. And here I've put an example. Only 6% of CEOs in Fortune 500 companies are women. Now, this is the problem. So you'll find answers to this, rational to this, and all those will be documented. You will not put an expression of affirmation or criticism. That will not serve the purpose. You need to substantiate your response. Now, moving further, hypothesis. You should be incorporating hypothesis. What is hypothesis? It is an assumed, you assume the result of your study. You assume the result of your study. Just a minute, let me have water. All right. All right, hypothesis, coming back to it. Actually, hypothesis is an assumption about relations between variables. You consider a tentative solution to the problem. And this hypothesis, it provides a direction for the research, and it establishes relationship between variables that can be put to test. You look at a situation and you have a tentative answer to that, but that answer will be verified. The validity of the response will be checked, and if that if hypothesis that answer, that temporary answer does fails to find a place in the rational, then obviously you replace that hypothesis with the exact finding. So hypothesis must be, I mean, in many studies it is incorporated, but many social research many researches which are happening in social sciences and literature, they avoid having hypothesis. All right, coming to literature review, this has to be incorporated in the thesis writing. Now, literature review is a systematic method for identifying, evaluating, and interpreting the work produced by researchers, scholars, and practitioners. And as a researcher, we find ourselves in a confused state as to how to know what's already done. So, how do you do that? Because after identifying your problem, you can lay hands on all those works which can assist you during research. So there you get an answer to what has already been done. So it becomes easy whether a lot of work has already been done, and if it is done, then what are the gaps. So after reading literature review, you also, I mean, it enables you to find gaps, the lacunas, or the areas which have always remained dark, or the grayer areas which fail to seek anybody's attention. Now, to put it in simple words, a literature review is a select analysis of existing research which is relevant to a researcher's selected topic, showing how it relates to their investigation. It explains and justifies how their investigation may help answer some of the questions or gaps in the chosen area of study. As dear learners, I've already cited an example that literature, then Dalit literature, and then Dalit feminism. And when I said Dalit feminism has yet to, find a place in the, I mean, it needs to be discussed in the, on the coffee tables, in the coffee shops, then that means I'm talking about, I brought out the gap that you are saying, or let me just put it, feminism claims that it is talking about everybody, but not talking about Dalits, Dalit women. So that's the gap I would like to, fill by putting up my research work. Now, moving to the next slide, purpose of literature review. Why literature review is important, I would like to give a minute to this very, very important component. What should be the purpose of literature? What is the purpose of literature review? You know what? Your research, your thesis consists of critical reading, evaluation. Your work consists of critical reading, evaluation, and organization of existing literature on a topic to access the state of knowledge in the area. Means you try to find out the gaps, but how do you find? After reading, after finding that how much work has been done. If substantial work has been done on that particular area or that particular issue which is bothering you. So to do that, I mean, when it enables you to, you can, there are different purposes. It helps you to analyze. Now, what is analysis? And how would this go with the purpose of literature review? Analysis actually enables the researcher to select, to differentiate, and to break the study, which means to dissect data into the constituent part. So you divide your the areas or the issues, or the you divide the all those things which enables, which goes in the making of, or which goes in the making of the responses, which enables you to solve the problem. Second is synthesis. When you read, you integrate, you combine, you formulate, and you reorganize, you rearrange the elements derived from analysis. When you analyze, and you identify relationship between different things which give a complete solution to the problem. So this, when you know combine, when you juxtapose, when you bring all these things, and when all these issues collate, it enables you to understand, which is comprehension, distinguish, explain, describe. And when you describe something, that means it enhances your knowledge, it defines, it clarifies, it you describe the principles, you talk about the uses, you talk about the functions, you talk about the benefits, you talk about rules, you talk about methods. So the purpose of literature review is very clear, and one should not just highlight a list of work of others, but I think one must identify issues which are highlighted. So all these things are done with the help of literature review. Uh, because when you talk about what has been done and what needs to be done, I think the picture gets very clear. Now, moving to the methodology, which I've already talked about, but I'll speak about it. Now, methodology is, of course, very, very important. There are different methods. Uh, you know that there's descriptive method, which is qualitative. Then there is analytical, which is there is analytical, which is quantitative. uh, and methodology, when you think of different strategies to which can be applied to the study, then I mean it becomes easier to work in that particular direction. So methodology evaluates, and you need to evaluate and justify the choices you make. You with the help of these methodology, the methodology that you adopt, you restate your thesis or research problem, you substantiate, you discuss the obstacles and solutions, that these are the problems and these are the possible solutions. You explain the approach you chose, that why are you stating this, why have you adopted this particular approach. Explain any uncommon methodology you use, describe how you collected the data you used, explain the methods you use to analyze the data you collected. So all these things can be worked, that how did I come to this, what the crux is this, but how did I reach to the conclusion, that these were the steps that I followed. Now, moving to the most important part of this thesis writing is discussion. Discussion section is a very important part of your thesis. Why? Because discussion makes the readers understand the exact meaning of the results achieved in the study by exploring the significant points of the research, its implications in different areas of the study, and the scope of improvement that the study can make for future development. And why is it important? It is because it is the main text. It is the longest component, component of all, and it is the most difficult part to write, because here, methodology, you explained it, that this will be my methodology, this will be my approach, but you have to apply everything, and that would be explained. You describe it under discussion. So this is the main body. Many students write it, when we write, sometimes we rush through, and we because we aim to reach the finishing point, and when we try to do that, we there's a possibility that we miss a number of important points. We fail to explore the findings and put them in the context of other research in the field. Maybe we fail to notice the other possible things which could have found a place in the study. Then discussion section also allows you to take a fresh perspective on your findings, so you can dig deep and provide new and original ideas for your research. I know I've taken a lot of time. I'll just try to end it. The how should you, I mean, how can you draft good discussion? These are few tips. Explain how your findings results relate to what is already known in the field as well as to what you expected to find. You should refer back to your introduction and establish if what you found was consistent with the existing literature. Means you tried to bring them close by by filling the gap, or if it was somewhat unexpected or controversial. If your findings were unexpected and or contradictory, you need to explain why you think that was. Did your choice of methodology contribute to it? Unusual findings can be good, but they might also elicit more questions from the committee and other readers. So here, whatever you're writing, you must be very clear that you need to defend each point you've incorporated. The examiners are going to question you. The In the viva, you have to, you have to give convincing answers. So you cannot pick up things which attract you, which appeal you, and you are incorporating everything. Again, somewhere in your discussion section, show that you are aware of the limitations of your study. What is missed by you, you can highlight that too, that it was your limitation. Provide one or two recommendations for future research or follow up studies. Make your address all your results, including those that were not statistically significant. Now, how to conclude? Coming back to the importance of introduction. Now look, I'll complete the whole the principle of writing. Introduction is tell what you have to tell. Discussion is tell, and conclusion is tell what you have already told. So means you're going to, now it is time to draw the curtains. Means you have to close the discussion, and it is important. You cannot leave anything abruptly, whether it is a simple answer, or a mathematical theorem. Do we not write hence it is proved? So means you're concluding your discussion. So conclusion is very important, because anything can be added to a discussion which fails to end properly. So conclusion must include the following. What is the strongest and most important statement that you can make for your observation? Refer back to the problem posed and conclude from your investigation. Summarize new observations, new interpretations, new insights that have resulted from the present work. What are the contributions of new knowledge that your work makes? Does your work suggest any interesting avenues, ways in which your work could be improved by future researcher? What are the practical implications of your work? All those answers which were unanswered in the beginning, which compelled you to write, here all the solutions, but in compressed form, will come. And here you're going to conclude, I mean, what you were aiming to defend, you will defend, and you will close your discussion. So here your writing will come to an end. This is how you can plan your thesis. I hope I could be some help to the researchers, to the learners. And with this, I would like to end my presentation. I know I really took long.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful session. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm much delighted.
We are really, ma'am, enlightened with your knowledge and presence. Now
Thank
the
you so
house is
much.
open for the question answer session. If participant have any doubt, can ask.
Ma'am, can you still see the slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. I'm just trying to stop it, but I don't know what is. Yeah,
Ma'am, good evening.
good evening.
It is really an informative session, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I just want to ask one thing regarding methodology in literature, particularly when we start our research work in literature. What are the methods generally adopted by the scholars, ma'am? Because
For
it's a
a,
qualitative study,
hmm,
so generally textual analysis we make. What are the other methods that we can incorporate, ma'am, when we do it?
Can you please repeat the last line? Or just give me a minute. I'm just getting a little disturbed because my screen is not. I cannot see. I fail to get back to the session. I know you can hear me, you can see me, but I cannot see anybody, and the screen is, just irritating me. Just give me a minute. Just give me a
Okay,
minute.
ma'am.
I'm just trying to close it. Yeah. Am I back? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Who was that?
I'm Ma'am Priyaranjan.
Mhm.
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Actually, I
Please.
wanted to know, ma'am, what are the other the methods that generally for literature scholars we read the
For
novels
literature
or
scholars.
dramas, literature, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing my PhD on literature. So, what are
What
the methods generally
can you
we?
please tell me more clearly? What are you actually working on?
I'm working on the drama, ma'am.
Okay.
The Rousseau and theory in
Okay.
the modern playwrights, ma'am.
All right. All right. So,
So,
till now, what method have you adopted? I'm sure you are reading a lot. You must be reading a number of theories to fit
yes,
your, contention.
yes,
Um,
ma'am.
yeah. So, what other method in your case? See, it varies from from topic to topic. uh Now see, if I think I try to explain everything with the help of examples. Now see, if your research, if it is an armchair research, if you are sitting and you're writing after reading a number of writers, and you're trying to come to a conclusion, then it would be reading. But if that would simply be reading, but when you're talking about something which is which is happening on the fields, like I said, partition, like I said, 1984, the Sikh rights. If we are talking about that, it would be more. Or if we are talking about Jallianwala Bagh catastrophe, it would be better that after reading, after collecting lot from from the books, from newspapers, it would be, I think, better if we'll have a direct tete-a-tete with the victims, if we go to them and we directly try to find out what actually do they underwent, now what actually, I mean, their horrific experiences. So I think the as per your topic, or as per the subject of your thesis, your approach, the strategy varies. What is the requirement? I mean, in my case, like if I talk about myself, my work was on feminism. So for that, I did not have to go anywhere, and I not only my PhD thesis was not only based on reading, but it was also based on observation, because there are so many things we observe in society. So it depends upon the subject that you choose.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other
Yes.
questions?
Yeah. Good evening, ma'am. Am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ma'am, my question is, as we know that thesis writing in PhD is a kind of hard work. I am right now first semester student of
Mhm.
PhD. So can you give us some tips that can help us at the final stage of PhD? Means what steps can we do? Let's say write one page from here onwards, or we can put some notes. Means any kind of tips that can help us in the easierness of making thesis at the last.
At the last, see, when we write, we are completely, novice. We are at a, I mean, because we are at the beginning stage, so we are beginners. So everything will appeal you. everything, every idea by the writer. If you are, if you are a literature student, I'm a literature student, so I'll be speaking from that perspective. When you look at, when you read the different works by a particular writer, you will get fascinated by everybody. Sorry, by everything that he has penned down. But there are a number of limitations, when we think of expounding those ideas. The first is, you have to limit your research by by putting everything within a theory. So you have to, as I said, anything can appeal you. You would incorporate any idea, but will that idea, can you give a convincing solution to that particular problem that you as a beginner are bothered about? So that needs to be done. And when you write, you are so fresh in your mind that you don't understand that where to draw the line. So in the very first stage, to be very honest, Rahul, you don't have to bother about the end. Don't think about the end, because when you start, when you are just a beginner, and I said that as a fresher, you would like to write and you would like to read everything. And you know what, PhD is more of mental growth. You grow with the subject, and as you get deeper into the subject, you automatically get to you understand that this is something relevant and this is irrelevant. This will go with my study, this will not. So you can easily sieve the relevant and irrelevant. So as you said that you have just stepped into this, so my simple answer to this would be, don't think about the last stage of your PhD. You will certainly feel that what you as I said, as you'll grow with time and you'll grow with your work, you will realize that you will automatically understand that this is your target. You should be reaching that. So in the you must, I'm sure you must be familiar with the principles of writing. In the beginning, you only draft whatever you get, you gather, and you make your notes. And in this, when you reach the second stage, you understand that no, it is not going with with the topic that you have decided in your mind. So what do? You start eliminating. And when you reach the final stage, you the picture gets more clearer. It gets very clear in your mind. So automatically, you understand that, the final broth would be ready. So in the beginning, don't think about the end. Just keep exploring, and you will understand that this is what I am aiming at, and this is my interest. So because your PhD is more about your interest, and I know it is very taxing because you need to put a lot of hard work.
Good, good.
I hope I could help you with something.
Yes, yes, got the point. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
So far, till this moment, I have heard about thesis and summary of the thesis. And you added one more thing, that thesis statement. Should we have to write it separately as we are
No,
writing summary?
no, you don't have to write it separately. But okay, let me explain it with the help of. I'm sure you must have written a number of research articles. Have you? If I can ask you that.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So, do you not write that this paper aims to investigate, or this paper aims to challenge whatever you are aiming at? That's the
Focus.
statement. Yeah, that's the
Correct.
statement. So no separate heading. That was just to make things clearer. So I thought of, that's very, very essential, because your confusion comes to an end and you get a definite answer to your to your efforts, to your endeavors. You get to understand that this is what I'm supposed to answer, so you do not waver, you do not feel that you're digressing. Your question becomes very clear, that you are defending something, or you're criticizing something, or you're appreciating something, right?
Yes, ma'am. I want to know what is the exact page numbering should be there in the thesis acceptable in Indian universities.
May I
Uh,
know from which discipline do you belong? Sorry, to which discipline do you belong?
English, ma'am, English literature.
English. See, in English, PhD, the standard format is, we start with introduction. We have 5 chapters, and the last would be conclusion. So approximately, it should not go beyond 250. Mine was 230. Many, I mean, try to reach to 300, but that makes your work very, very bulky. And sometimes you aim to digress. But the new standard says that it should be somewhere very close to 300, where you are also incorporating, references, the work cited. So if you have reached 250, that should be more than enough. Then don't, push yourself towards 300.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello,
Any other
ma'am.
question? Yeah.
Ma'am, could you please tell me from where you have taken the reference for this dissertation and thesis? How many pages has to be included?
For thesis?
Thesis and dissertation, as ma'am said, no, now for English discipline, we can go for 250 pages. And even while you were
Uh,
presenting, I have seen you have put for dissertation, you can go for 300 plus, 200 to 300 plus.
no, no. I was just I think the things have been mixed somewhere. I was saying that in India, as it is followed in UK and some of the countries, thesis is a bulky document than this dissertation. Dissertation is not as comprehensive as thesis is. So, if I look at my MPhil thesis, I feel I could not stretch beyond 110. So for dissertation, in MPhil actually, in MPhil, if you, I mean, I don't know if you are MPhil or you're doing, I mean, I do not know your credentials, but in MPhil, dissertation writing is one of the components of evaluation. That is why it is compressed. Whereas in PhD, it's the only thing you have, right? It's the only document that fetches you a PhD degree, right? Of course, you defend your PhD when you face Viva.
Okay, ma'am. I just want little more clarity. That's all. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, one more question actually regarding that in literature, ma'am.
Hmm.
We have to write works cited and bibliography both, or only works cited will do, ma'am?
We write, we don't write bibliography now. Let me just think about it. Bibliography. Yeah, bibliography or works cited. Anything can be written.
Now, works cited, ma'am, only those things we have cited in our in-text citation.
Obviously.
But for bibliography, we tend to add many more, something like that.
See,
So,
in work cited also, because now, which I think we are following MLA style 9, right?
9, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So work cited, that way you're correct. Every university has a different pattern. So in my university, we're still we have adopted 8th edition. So we follow both work cited. We are using work cited as synonymous with bibliography, without incorporating the distinctive features of the two.
Anyone will do then, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other question?
Any questions from the participant? I think all the queries are solved now.
Hello, am I audible, madam?
Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am. Just I wanted to know, in empirical studies, as you know that we have hypothesis.
Hmm.
So, do I want to know, I mean, do we have hypothesis in literature also? Or it is
Uh,
necessary?
no,
Can
it
we,
is not.
research without hypothesis?
Yeah, we can work without hypothesis. In literature, in social sciences, many are not incorporating hypothesis. But when it comes to, and this I'm talking about armchair research, but when it is empirical, you incorporate hypothesis because you aim to test something on the field. So you can, in empirical, you have hypothesis. But there's something I would like to add. To be very honest, I feel, we have we whatever work we do, whatever incorporate in our thesis, it is never autonomous. We are always, what conditions us, the conditions are set by the supervisor. So if he feels, sometimes we do not even follow the standard, and if he feels hypothesis must be there, we do that. See, in literature we do not even have literature review. We do not incorporate that. Some do, some many do not. So these are optional things you incorporate in your writing.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Now it's the time for the formal vote of thanks. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtue, but the parent of all the others. Good evening, one and all present here. I, Rajni Bala, on behalf of Research and Development Cell of the Government SPMR College of Commerce, Jammu, to take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to those who have directly or indirectly contributed to this fourth day of 1 week virtual faculty development program. At the outset, I would like to thank today's resource person of technical session 1, Dr. Faisal Fayaz, is an educator and a member of Project Management Institute. Sir, you gave valuable information with regard to the citation blue book. ELW will contribute a lot to in our academic development, as citation is among us the most critical area in the field of research and writing book, and hope sir that will help all of us in the area of research. So thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session. My thanks are also due to the resource person of second technical session, Dr. Ruchi Raj Thakur, is an advocate, a writer, teaches at Himachal. Explained very well regarding the planning and development of thesis, right? Solve a particular problem in the society. You also expressed us about the future scope of findings, what point should keep in thesis at preliminary stage, and how to prepare a thesis outline. You also discussed chapter outline and how to start writing something. Ma'am, you also provide the information regarding the validity of the research, what elements include in the structure of thesis. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the precious knowledge that you have shared with us. And I think all the doubts are cleared regarding the thesis writing, and will also help for the existing as well as the potential researchers. Thank you so much,
Thank,
ma'am. Once again, thank you for the wonderful session.
thank you so much.
I would also like to thank and express my sincere thanks to our worthy principal sir, Dr. Surendra Kumar, Government SPMR College of Commerce, for the enthusiastic support to organize such kind of event. I would also like to thank our convener, ma'am, Dr. Pooja, RDC, of Government SPMR College of Commerce, and organizing secretary Professor Deepshika Sharma, and all the members of the organizing committee for this initiative. I also extend my sincere thanks to Cape Camarine Trust for their valuable support in managing this 1 week virtual faculty development program. I also, a wide round of applause and thanks to all the participants across the world who made the event a memorable one. Finally, I would like to thank all of you present here, making the time to be with us and today helping us make this event a great success. Once again, thank you all. Have a good time. And one more thing, kindly switch on your camera for the group photograph.
Ma'am,
I
may I
request
leave? May I leave?
1 second, ma'am, for the photograph only,
All
for the group
right. All
photograph.
right. So I need to look good, right?
Yeah, ma'am.
And can I be a little informal? I can relate with you because I originally belong to Jammu, and this College of Commerce is the place, I've grown in that campus because my father was from Jammu University. He retired as professor from Jammu University. So I can so relate with the whole faculty here, and I'm so delighted, when I read that word Jammu and Kashmir. So I was so happy. So I think that has infused more energy in the session. So please excuse me if I've tried to be a little informal. I'm so sorry. I could not control my emotions.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ruchiraj, ma'am. Thank you so much. And it was a wonderful session. And it was very lively. All the participants, they were, clarifying their doubts. And especially those who are pursuing PhD and they are into it. And it was a very nice session. And
Thank you so much. If I could be any help to the researchers, thank
And
you
most
so
of the
much for
active session
giving
as
me
well,
this
ma'am.
opportunity.